In the discussion, they lead at Cincinnati 2-1. The Brewers continue to really keep pace, Bob, with the Chicago Cubs. They're leading at Tampa Bay 2-0.
Yeah, every time people want to count the Brewers out and just hand that National League Central to the Cubs, the Brewers seem to get their second win and crank off a few wins and get right back in that race.
Yeah, Wilson Contreras hit another home run for Chicago today as they were able to get a win over the Nationals at Wrigley Field. Torey Lovullo's ball club really feeling good about things suddenly with Paul Goldschmidt leading the charge here. They've won 2 dramatic games Thursday at Wrigley Field, and of course the series opener here last night when they were able to beat the Giants 2-1. So we're set for game 2 of this 3-game series, and your Ram truck starting pitcher for the Giants is Chris Stratton, 26-year-old right-hander. He pitched a handful of games with the Giants last year. You see his numbers this season tonight, making only his 2nd career major league start.
Yeah, it's been a little bit of a slog for Chris Stratton at the major league level. At the AAA level, for that matter, had a 5.11 ERA pitching in the minor leagues for the Giants. Had a real good outing out of the bullpen. His first appearance this season at the major league level, went 3 shutout innings against the Rockies at Colorado. That got him a couple of starts in the rotation. His 2nd start here tonight.
He was a Giants first-round draft pick out of Mississippi State 5 years ago. Let's take a look at San Francisco's defense. That's presented by Nationwide Vision Centers.
A little different look for Bruce Bochy tonight, loading up on left-handed hitters. Jarrett Parker will be in left field. Denard Span out in center. Hunter Pence in right field. That guy, the Panda, Pablo Sandoval at third base, flanked by Brandon Crawford at short. It'll be Joe Panik and Ryder Jones on the right side of the infield. Brandon Belt on the concussion disabled list. Nick Hundley doing the catching tonight, and Chris Stratton on the mound.
Quinn Walcott is our plate umpire tonight, calling the balls and strikes. The crew chief Brian O'Nora is the first base umpire. Ben Mays at second and Scott Berry at third. And before we get underway here at AT&T Park, Bob, it's time for your Valley Honda dealers key to the game.
I'm going to stop just short of calling this a must-win game, but you win the ones you should. You got a guy making his 2nd major league start on the mound, no Brandon Belt, no Buster Posey, and a team that has the lowest winning percentage at home in the National League.
Advantage Diamondbacks as we're underway in San Francisco with ball 1 to David Peralta. David in the leadoff spot again, 301 and 10 homers. He walked, doubled, and scored a run last night. 65 degrees at first pitch. We're about 10 minutes behind schedule here. No big deal.
Stratton, a 4-pitch guy, fastball, curveball, slider, changeup. None of them are great out-ass plus pitches, and really needs to command that ball and keep it out of the middle of the plate to be effective. He's given up 16 base hits and 12 runs in 14 innings at the major league level this year.
Peralta dunks one just over the head of the Panda at third base, and it rolls up the bullpen. And David rolls into second with his 22nd double. Not the prettiest hit he's ever had, but very effective.
It works. You'd like to think that this makes up for some line drives that David has hit right at defenders this year. This one just loops over the head of the Panda into shallow left field, gets over in that bullpen area. Jarrett Parker just had to chase it down and hold him to a double.
Leadoff man in scoring position for A.J. Pollock. AJ 296. He's homered 5 times, singled and scored a run last night. Thought we might see Gregor Blanco out there in center field, the former Giant, against the right-hander, give AJ Pollock a day off, but Torey Lovullo elected to get AJ back in there. I'm sure AJ has been campaigning to play every day. So maybe we see Blanco tomorrow. We got a big ovation and a very warm welcome here from Giants fans last night.
These Giants fans are like elephants. If you do something good for the team, they never forget it.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what kind of ovation Pablo Sandoval gets, because he trashed a few people on his way out the door here after the 2014 World Series.
I think the fans will welcome him back. Some of the people in the front office might be booing.
He was happy to leave by what he said. Pablo Sandoval said he wasn't shown the proper respect by the Giants, considering he helped them win 3 World Series rings. Former World Series MVP. 3-0 on Pollock. Sandoval batting fourth tonight. A double and a walk lead it off for the Diamondbacks. Here comes Jake Lamb. So Stratton, that's the story so far. He's struggling. Taking the rotation spot tonight for Matt Cain, who's really struggled this year. Stratton hasn't pitched for the Giants since last Tuesday when he picked up a save after 4 innings of relief and a blowout win over Pittsburgh here. That was July 25th. He was just activated off the DL today, coming off a right calf injury. They're not too worried about the calf problem. 2 on, nobody out for Jake Lamb. 267 and 23 home runs. Jake 0 for 3 last night. He got hit by a pitch. That was after Brandon Belt took a curveball on the helmet from Anthony Bonda. Belt put on the 7-day concussion DL, and it was shortly after that that Jake Lamb caught one on the hip in the 7th inning from Madison Bumgarner, who plunked him. Jake down 0-2.
You know, thinking about Pablo Sandoval, the sad part of the story is this guy was one of the best natural hitters in the game. Just instinctively got the barrel on the ball, drove it all over the ballpark, was a really good defender when he kept his body in shape. Unfortunately, that was a major effort for him.
Well, you can't question his accomplishments in a Giants uniform. They are one of the best postseason players really in modern baseball history. 3-time World Series champion here. MVP of the 2012 World Series. And in 39 career postseason games for the Giants, he hit .344. Just missed with a breaking ball there, and it's 1-2. Jake 5 for 21 on the road trip with a couple of doubles. 5 critical RBIs that helped win 2 games against the Cubs in Chicago this week.
Got Jake in the back leg, I think.
Yeah, it did. The bases are loaded with nobody out for Paul Goldschmidt.
Threw that slider down and in. Jake got the front leg out of the way, but clipped him on the thigh on the left side. He'll head on down to load him up for Goldie.
Chance to do some major damage here. Our State Farm winning combo. Goldie on this road trip, he's flat out won some games here, Bob, almost single-handedly.
Absolutely. I kind of joked about it last night. They need to put a saddle on his back because when he gets hot, you can ride him for weeks at a time.
He has 6 hits in his last 8 at bats, including a triple and 3 home runs. Bases full of Diamondbacks and nobody out. Fastball is up, but it's strike 1, says Quinn Walcott. Goldie, the batting average now with .325. 25 home runs. Aaron Judge of the Yankees, the only player in baseball with a higher OPS right now. Goldie coming off back-to-back 3-hit games. Swing and a miss at a fastball, and he's down 0-2. Last night, Goldie drove in both Diamondbacks runs, including an RBI triple. And a long RBI single just off the wall in left field. Missed another home run by about 2 or 3 feet. And of course, that coming off the now legendary 3-homer game at Wrigley Field. 1 home run for each rain delay.
Yeah, they were still talking about that on the Cubby game this afternoon. Cubs were playing the Nationals a day game at Wrigley Field, and Len Casper and Jim Deshaies were still talking about Goldie's performance.
Fastball missed, and it's 1-2. Saw the numbers on the road trip. 4 homers, 12 RBIs in 8 games. David Peralta, the runner at third. A.J. Pollock at second, and Jake Lamb at first. Able to lay off. Fastball away, and it's 2-2. Hard to imagine anyone being better when they're down 0-2 in the count than Paul Goldschmidt. He always, it seems, finds a way to battle back, at least getting even 2-2 like he is right here. Hard to center. Span is there, leaping up and making a catch. Peralta comes in. Pollock tags, and it's 1-0 Diamondbacks. That was just belted to right center field.
When you handcuff a guy 380 feet from home plate, you've hit the ball really hard. Denard Span got a good read off the bat, kind of drifted over there to his left toward the gap in right center field, and to make a very quick adjustment right at the very end of his route to leap up and catch that ball. It'll go for a sac fly for Goldie.
Line drive to almost the deepest part of the ballpark, so a run is home. AJ's at third, Lamb at first. One out for JD Martinez. JD 0 for 4 with a pair of strikeouts last night, now with 282 on the year. 22 home runs. Six of those homers have come with the Diamondbacks. 20th pitch of the inning on the way from Chris Stratton. Martinez bangs it toward the left field corner, and it's off the base of the wall. Pollock is home. They're waving Lamb. The relay from Crawford is in time. AJ's across to make it 2-0. But Jake Lamb trying to come all the way in from first. Cut down on the Crawford relay, 7-6-2.
Well, that ball was banged hard too into left field. Short hops the wall out there. A very good bounce right back to Jarrett Parker. And perhaps an ill-advised send that time by Tony Parachika. You want to be aggressive early in the game, try to take advantage of the young pitcher on the mound, but Brandon Crawford is one of the best relay men in all of baseball. Got that throw from his left fielder and put it right on the money to Nick Hundley for the out.
A double and 1 RBI for JD Martinez. Descalso, the second baseman tonight, will be the hitter.
And JD got a little bit of topspin on that line drive. It sounded good off the bat. Thought it had a chance to sneak out of here just inside the foul pole, but banged off the wall for an RBI double.
So Martinez at second, 2 outs, 2 runs in. And here is Daniel Descalso. Breaking ball is in there for strike one. Descalso 237 and 6 homers. Not the kind of start Chris Stratton was hoping for, certainly. Stratton's first career start July 6th at Detroit. Johnny Cueto was a late scratch for that game with an ear infection, so Stratton was forced to make his first ever start on 20 minutes notice. Gave up 5 runs, 6 hits. He went 6 2/3 against the Tigers. Got the loss. Called strike 3. Rings up Descalso. But the Diamondbacks strike first. An early 2-0 lead for Taijuan Walker. Truck starter Taijuan Walker, the big right-hander. 6-5 with a 3.55 ERA. He's pitched a lot better than some of those numbers. Need to get Taijuan some run support here, so a good start tonight.
Yeah, real good start tonight. A little breathing room before the Giants even take their first at bat in this game. Taijuan Walker, as we mentioned, coming off a solid outing against the Cardinals earlier on this trip, even though he took the loss. 5 2/3, 3 runs on 4 hits, punched out 10 Cardinals.
Valley Chevy Dealers has a look at the Giants lineup tonight.
Denard Span will lead it off again tonight out in center field. Ryder Jones takes over for Brandon Belt at first base. Brandon Crawford at shortstop. Pablo Sandoval in the cleanup spot playing third base. Jarrett Parker out in left field. Hunter Pence in right. Joe Panik at second base. U of A product Nick Hundley doing the catching for right-hander Chris Stratt.
Did he go to U of A?
That's what I've heard.
Yeah, I did not know that. Denard Span in the leadoff spot. Looks at strike one. He was 0 for 3 last night. Span 273 and 7 home runs. Didn't really hear, frankly, any kind of reaction to Taijuan Walker take the mound here. Taijuan expected to get booed when he came out tonight after, as you'll recall, hitting Buster Posey in the head with a fastball the last time he was here. That was back in April. Posey wound up on the concussion DL, and Taijuan admittedly was a little shaken up by that. And it took him a few starts before he was comfortable again pitching inside to right-hand batters. But he's well past that now, and it seems like, based on the silence here, Giants fans have almost forgotten about it. Of course, Posey's not in the starting lineup tonight. That one missed somewhere for Quinn Walcott. 2-2. Here are the numbers on Span. Walked and struck out last night.
We've talked about Denard Span in the past. His approach up there at the plate, he kind of stands a little bit upright, and then as Taijuan Walker goes into his delivery, he drops down into a crouch, which is against what most hitting coaches would teach. You try to keep your head as still as possible. Watch how far his head drops.
Yeah, that elevator goes down a flight or two pretty quick.
The express elevator.
Ryder Jones, the rookie, playing first base tonight. Brandon Belt on the concussion DL. His roster spot taken up by Pablo Sandoval, who's batting cleanup tonight. Well, Span being a pesky leadoff hitter here. It's still 2-2. Span has not done much with the bat lately. He's hitting only .220 since the end of June. And finally, Walker wins the battle, 1 down. Our eye on the Diamondbacks defense is brought to you by Nationwide Vision Centers.
Peralta, Pollock, and Martinez left to right across the outfield. A lot of room to cover out there for JD in right field. Jake Lamb and Ketel Marte on the left side of the infield. Daniel Descalso, Paul Goldschmidt on the right side tonight. Jeff Mathis will be behind the plate for right-hander Taijuan Walker.
Ryder Jones. Jones got the start at third base last night. Took over at first after Brandon Belt had to leave the game. 103 on the year. He's only 9 games into a big league career. 3 for 29 without an extra base hit. He's down 0-2. Ryder Jones just recalled from AAA Sacramento on Thursday. Second round pick by the Giants 4 years ago out of Boone, North Carolina. Giants starting to go with some of the youngsters here. They're mixing them in. But the normal names are in there. Crawford, Pence, Panik tonight. Fastball up and away. It's 1-2. Giants let Aaron Hill go near the end of June. They just DFA'd Connor Gillespie the other day. Jae-Kyun Wong was sent back to AAA, their Korean signee. So some of the new guys getting a look. Ryder Jones in the starting lineup. We saw Miguel Gomez pinch hit last night. Bruce Bochy trying to figure out something. Giants have lost 6 of their last 8, 10 of their last 15. Good start for Taijuan Walker. 2 strikeouts.
Well, we're seeing a much improved slider here in this first inning from Taijuan Walker. That's usually a pitch that kind of comes and goes for Taijuan, but he's thrown some really good ones in the early going here today.
He has really worked on that pitch really since the end of last year when he was with Seattle. Got a lot of movement on it here tonight. Brandon Crawford, the shortstop. He leads the Giants in RBIs, but hitting only .228 with 9 homers. Crawford 0 for 3 last night, but responsible for the Giants' only run. He drew a bases loaded walk against Anthony Banda. Banda was terrific last night. 6 innings, gave up just the 1 run on 3 hits. Did walk 4, but had 7 strikeouts and was close to unraveling there in that 4th inning after walking in a run when Crawford was the hitter, but did a nice job after that. He got a strikeout and a ground ball out and kept the Giants to 1 run.
You know, I say it all the time, partner. Sometimes it's easier to evaluate a player when he's struggling out there on the mound. He got himself into a jam, managed to limit the damage and get out of that jam. That's as equally impressive as a 1-2-3 inning for a young pitcher. Certainly like to get out of without anybody scoring, but to limit the damage to 1, the mess he was in, that's pretty darn good.
Yeah, there was a stretch there, 3 or 4 batters where he could not throw a curveball anywhere near the strike zone, but Anthony really kept his composure out there, left the bases loaded, and then came back the next inning and struck out the side. Taijuan Walker strikes out the side in the first inning. Diamondbacks with a 2-0 lead.
To lead off the second inning for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Ketel rejoined the team here on Thursday night, returning from the Dominican Republic. He was on the bereavement list after the tragic moped accident that his mother was involved in, and she did pass away. Ketel told us a story yesterday about his mother, though. In the offseason in the Dominican, playing softball, he hit a long home run, and she said, "I'd like 10 home runs from you this year." He hit 6 in Reno. After he got his 4th with the Diamondbacks, he called her and he said, "There you go, 10 homers. How about that?" He said she was crying. And so that was quite a moment for Ketel, recalling that. And it's been obviously very, very difficult, but having his teammates' support has meant everything to him.
Yeah, Jody, his baseball family, as Torey Lovullo likes to call him. Good to have Ketel back with us. And there at shortstop today. And he belts that one into right field. Ketel Marte, big turn. He's digging for second. Here's the throw, and he's in there. Welcome back, Ketel Marte, his 5th double.
Good to see him find a hole. Ketel Marte has hit a number of balls just like that, right at first baseman and second baseman around the National League, but finds that hole on the right side and uses that tremendous speed to challenge Hunter Pence. He's got to run a long way to get that ball in the right field corner, and Marte in safely at second.
He's now hit safely in 6 straight games and 9 of his last 11. Make it a 10-game hitting streak for Jeff Mathis, the catcher today. Mathis at .221 with 2 homers. Diamondbacks have really hit the ball hard so far against young Chris Stratton, making just his 2nd major league start. Peralta blooped a double over the head of Sandoval at third to lead us off. Goldie hit a laser just about 380 feet to deep center for an RBI sac fly. And now Marte, a hard double into right to lead off the second. 0-2 on Mathis. JD Martinez had an RBI double in the left field corner as well. Jeff looks at strike 3, second strikeout for Stratton. There's Taijuan Walker.
He's got a home run on the back of his baseball card.
It was a no-doubter too. That was at Chase Field not too long ago. About halfway up the seats and left.
A little different environment here with the heavy marine air and the deeper fences. And that swing.
It was a sunny day all day today, but we've got some pretty thick cloud cover right now. Wind is blowing out to right center field. Stratton teasing Taijuan Walker with breaking pitches. It's 1-2. Leadoff man David Peralta, already with a double on the books, is on deck. Chris Stratton really laboring here. He's out of Tupelo High School in Tupelo, Mississippi. Pitched his college ball in Starkville at Mississippi State. Giants got him with a 1st-round pick in the 2012 draft. He was the 20th overall selection in that draft 5 years ago. He gets another called strike 3. 3 strikeouts for Stratton, all looking. 2 down in the second. Peralta doubled and scored to lead off the ball game. Ketel Marte still down there at second after a leadoff double. Nick Hundley wants to talk it over. Chris Stratton made 15 starts this year in AAA with Sacramento. And he had some Coast League problems, as a lot of guys do. 4-5 with a 5.11 ERA. Pitched nearly all of last year in the Coast League as well, but had a lot better luck. He was 12-6. Finished up last season with 6 starts for Scottsdale in the Arizona Fall League, and now here he is in the big leagues. Like to see the Fall Leaguers make good. Just missed with a fastball, and it's 2-0.
I'd see David let out a little shaft right here, try to lift the ball in the air to right field. Usually he's content to drive it from gap to gap, but it's one of those counts. Looking to lift one in the air over into McCovey Cove.
Peralta, 303 career hitter in this ballpark. He's homered here twice. Trying to launch that one right down the fairway. This is lined toward the left field corner. Parker on the run. And he makes a sliding catch in fair territory. Jared Parker takes an RBI double away from David Peralta. Not a whole lot of foul ground out there. He had just enough. Made the catch in fair territory. It stays 2-0. Cheers as Pablo Sandoval steps up his return to San Francisco for the first time since the 2014 World Series, and about 55-45.
Yeah, more cheers than booze, but a lot more booze than I expected.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Sandoval a giant once again following his release from the Red Sox. 32 games in Boston this year. He was a free agent washout with the Red Sox. This year hitting .212 with 4 homers.
Yeah, at one point on his way out of town as he was throwing matches on the bridge.
Yeah.
He said the only 2 guys he would miss is the skipper Bruce Bochy and the right fielder Hunter Pence. He didn't really care for the rest of his teammates so much.
Felt a little disrespected as a free agent. Didn't get the offer he anticipated after winning his 3rd World Series ring with the Giants. Left the Giants after that series. Got a 3-year $52 million deal with the Red Sox, and that was not money well spent. He was just released, and now he's a Giant once again. Full count, 3-2. Bounced to second, backhanded by Descalso. Got him. Four up, 4 down for Taiwan. Here's Jared Parker, the left fielder, who just made that terrific catch to take an RBI double away from David Peralta.
Yeah, a fearless catch out in that left field corner. Jared Parker just came back off the disabled list. Badly fractured clavicle, crashing into the wall, making a catch, a similar running catch.
Yeah, that was April 15th. He was out nearly 100 games. Just 10 games with the Giants this year. 240 without a homer. Panda made a mess of the plate apparently. Quinn Walcott doing some ground crew work. And we're good to go. Parker, we've seen him before. There's a lot of swing and miss here. He never ever has been able to cut down on the strikeouts as that gets into the stands. But he did have 3 hits, including 2 doubles in his last game. That was Thursday. A Giants win here over the Oakland A's. It was his first big league game since April 15th, out nearly 4 months. Fastball misses up, and it's 1-1. Swing and a miss. 4 strikeouts through the first 5 hitters for Taijuan Walker tonight.
Taijuan feeling it tonight. A little extra zip on that fastball. We mentioned it in the first inning. His slider is probably as good as we've seen it recently. It's mainly been a fastball changeup mix and show an occasional slider, but looks like he's got a good feel for the slider tonight as well.
Hunter Pence. Pence 248, 8 home runs. His bat has started coming around lately. Reaches out and rolls one to Marte at shortstop. Good start for Taijuan Walker. 6 up, 6 down, holding a 2-0 lead. Strikeout game in St. Louis has already punched out 4 Giants here today. As we get set for the start of the 3rd inning, fans, a reminder, the D-backs and the Cubs series is coming up next weekend at Chase Field. Get your tickets now, August 11th, 12th, and 13th. The first 20,000 fans in attendance next Saturday, August 12th, get the Arizona flag cap courtesy of Gila River Casinos. Get your D-backs and Cubs tickets now, dbacks.com. But hurry up, they're going fast. We are expecting huge crowds for that series.
And we know there's going to be a lot of Cub fans in the house. We're counting on the D-backs fans to get out there in large numbers and shout them down.
Well, based on the performance the Diamondbacks turned in at Wrigley Field this week, it should be a tremendous series. AJ walked and scored his first time up tonight. Stratton already at 40 pitches, 23 strikes. It's 0-2. AJ stepping out, trying to slow his roll just a bit. Pollock with 8 hits on the road trip, including 4 doubles. D-backs with a win here tonight can get to 6-3 on the 10-game trip. Patrick Corbin goes tomorrow against Jeff Samardzija. Mike Butcher, the pitching coach, on the left there with the skipper Torey Lovullo. Rockies are beating up on the Phillies at Coors Field. Colorado leads it 8-1 after 5 innings. D-backs a half game ahead of the Rockies for that first wild card spot. Pat Valaika has homered for Colorado, was 10th of the year. John Gray against Nick Pivetta in that ball game. Pivetta didn't even last 3 innings. Oh, he got pounded. AJ drives it toward Parker and left.
Another leaping catch of a line drive. Man,
I mean, that was right on the button. Even the Diamondbacks outs are loud here today.
Well, Parker took a little bit of a shallow line and realized that was just going to shoot over his head all the way to the wall. Makes the adjustment, has to go up the ladder to make the play. When you see an outfielder jump for a line drive, that's always scary.
Last resort.
Yep.
Jake Lamb hit by a pitch his first time up. Might have grazed a thread somewhere on a sock or something. It's kind of hard to tell. Jake Lamb gets one in the air for Pence in right field. It's 5 in a row set down by Stratton since the Ketel-Marte double. Bases empty, 2 down for Goldie. Goldie blistered a ball to deep right center field his first time up on an absolute rope. It almost went over the head of Denard Span. He settled for an RBI sac fly, drove in the game's first run. J.D. Martinez followed with an RBI double. Torey Lovullo was the one who pointed out the other day in Chicago that it wasn't too long ago, only about 10 days ago, Goldie was really grinding up there. Wasn't getting a whole lot of results. Had one 7-game stretch over part of the last homestand when he went just 4 for 21 with a dozen strikeouts. He was striking out a bunch. But now in his last 11 games, he's hit almost 490. He is red hot. That's one on the ground to shortstop for Crawford. 6 in a row retired by Stratton. Diamondbacks have a 2-0 lead. On a Saturday in San Francisco, not exactly Euron Greyjoy in the Iron Fleet, but it's a nice ride. MLB.TV fans, every night, every device, you can watch every out-of-market regular season game live and get a free subscription to At Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. There are blackout and other restrictions, so visit MLB.TV for details. Joe Panik, the second baseman, leads off the third against Taijuan Walker, who has retired all 6 Giants he's faced. He's got 4 strikeouts.
A 3-hour tour.
Game of Thrones to Gilligan's Island. A little gap in there.
Come on, little buddy.
Joe Panik spanks one into center. First Giant hit is a leadoff single in the third. Catcher for the Giants tonight, Nick Hundley. His first season with San Francisco, 260 and 5 homers. He just hit a home run Tuesday in Oakland, part of the Bay Bridge series.
Yeah, the team across the bay on the road tonight down in Anaheim, and in their place, Green Day having a concert over at the Coliseum tonight.
I like Green Day.
Yeah.
Good 90s. I notice you've been monitoring lots of Palooza.
Yeah, Lollapalooza.
Ah, that's it. Yeah. Well, I thought it was lots of Palooza.
Well, a lot of good bands playing today on some of the side stages. Got to see some acts I've never seen before, and a couple I have seen.
Has the rain stopped at all? I know the first day got washed out.
So far, so good today, but it is Chicago, so stay tuned.
1-1 on Hundley. He's had a hot bat lately, better than .330 in his last 15 games. He's behind the plate. Buster Posey has the night off.
And when you're the backup catcher behind Buster Posey, you're not up there to walk. He's only drawn 6 base on balls all season in 61 games. And when you only get that one opportunity a week or every 10 days to go back behind the plate and swing that bat, yeah, you're not looking to draw a walk. You're looking to do some damage.
Hundley signed a 1-year, $2 million deal with the Giants in January. He was in Colorado the previous 2 seasons. So the Giants are Nick Hundley's 3rd different club in the National League West. He played 7 seasons in San Diego, of course. Last 2 with the Rockies. Now a Giant. There was a 50-game stop in Baltimore mixed in between there. Hundley gets into one, hits it deep to center. AJ has to play it off the wall. They'll stop Panik at third. It's a double for Nick Hundley. Hundley's 17th double of the year. 2nd and 3rd, no outs for the Giants here in the 3rd.
That's a slider that just kind of hangs there in the middle of the plate. As I mentioned before, he's thrown a lot of good sliders in this game already. That was not one of them. Nick Hundley just short hops the wall out there in center. Nice play by AJ to get it quickly back into Marte and hold that runner at third base.
The pitcher, Chris Stratton. Goldie still back on the dirt, I should say, at first base. Lamb even with a bag at third. No sign of a bunt from Stratton. It's 1-0. Diamondbacks not expecting him to bunt. 2nd and 3rd, no outs here. See if he can squeak one through the infield or something. 40 pitches for Walker, 28 strikes. Like Taiwan was rolling through the first 2 innings. He retired all 6 he faced, 4 strikeouts, but a single and a double. Now he's behind 2-0 on the pitcher Stratton. Goldie at first. Looks panicked back to the bag, and they get the out. Here's the leadoff man, Denard Span, a strikeout victim his first time up today.
Well, Denard Span is prepared if anything happens to the orange batting gloves. He's got a pair of black ones in his pocket. Probably his sliding gloves, I'm guessing, if he gets on base. It's like Willie Mays Hayes.
It's all color coordinated. Does he nail him up to his wall when he gets home?
Gloves are us.
Not sure why you need sliding gloves exactly, and why they need to be different color from your batting gloves, other than I guess you don't mix them up. Heaven forbid you hit with your sliding gloves on. Oh. Who knows what could happen?
Chaos. There's a guy that played in the big leagues back in the 80s by the name of Mel Hall, most notably with the Chicago Cubs. But Mel Hall used to always carry an extra pair of gloves in his back pocket.
Hopped up very shallow left center. Peralta calling for it. Panic at third will hold up. So they can't advance the runners again. And now there are 2 outs for Ryder Jones.
And when asked why you carry an extra pair of batting gloves in your back pocket, Mel Hall said that's so I can wave goodbye to the catcher when I start my home run trot.
Remember, there was always a guy that would sit in the left field bleachers or right field bleachers at Wrigley Field and just go, Mel Hall, Mel Hall. Ryder Jones struck out his first time. Boy, if Taiwan can wiggle off the hook here, he'd get a gold star for this inning. Second and third, nobody out. Now there's 2 down. Ryder Jones up there 3 for 30 in his big league career so far. This is only his 10th ever game. Yeah, it's going to get on a plane. It's 1-1. Jones was having a pretty good year at AAA Sacramento, .312 with 13 homers. Just got called up the other day for the 2nd time this year. Fights off a fastball, and it's 1-2. Pitch number 50 for Taiwan Walker on the way. Joe Panic's at third, Nick Hundley at second. 2 outs. Ooh, Quinn Walcott didn't like it. 95 from Walker, and it's 2-2.
Maybe just off that inside corner.
50 pitches, 34 strikes. Look out, D-back dugout. Jody's down there somewhere.
Yeah, hopefully she has a glove. That was right in the vicinity where Jody usually stands.
Well, is she using her standing gloves or her reporting gloves? Check with Denard Span about that. Jeff Mathis wants to make sure.
Many times in these situations when Jeff Mathis goes back behind the plate, he doesn't even give a sign. He'll just go get into his crouch and kind of indicate to Taijuan Walker, go ahead and throw it. Tel Marte relayed to Daniel Descalso what's coming up here, so see if he even gives a sign. Well, just bring it.
The slider had been very good the first 2 innings, but he hung 1 or 2 in this third. So maybe the confidence with that pitch not quite there. We'll see what they come up with here on 3-2. Skied along the right field line. Goldie right on the line. And he's got it in foul ground. Taijuan Walker had second and third, nobody out, but he keeps it a 2-0 D-backs lead.
Keep the score 2-0 Diamondbacks as we head to the top half of the fourth. Time to take a look at this day in baseball history, brought to you by Geico. The iconic number 24 here in San Francisco belonged to Willie Mays, the greatest Giant of all. He was inducted into the Cooperstown Baseball Hall of Fame on this day, along with outfielder Hack Wilson. Played with several different teams. Saw the other Willie here at the ballpark tonight, Willie McCovey, part of the celebration honoring the '97 Giants team. I haven't seen Willie Mays around this time.
Saw Willie this spring at the Cactus League Hall of Fame induction. He stood up at the table and made a tremendous speech and had the whole room just rolling. J.D. Martinez leads off the fourth inning against Chris Stratton. Willie was doing great, making a bunch of jokes. He was doing a bit. Everybody was laughing.
It was one of the funniest things I've ever been around in my baseball life. Willie Mays used to come to spring training, and you know, the day's done, the game's over, and guys are heading out to go home, and Willie would sit in the corner of that clubhouse over at Old Scottsdale Stadium and just tell story after story after story. You never wanted it to end. It was just tremendous.
Yeah, Willie talked about what it was like back in the early days of the Cactus League before it became the mega industry it is now and a tourist destination. It was a lot of fun. It was just great to be around him, and he was just very happy and enthusiastic to be there. Great event at the Cactus League Hall of Fame luncheon back ending off season. JD Martinez had an RBI double his first time up. AJ Pollock scored. Jake Lamb was thrown out at home plate trying to score behind him, so 1 RBI for JD. Now with 15 runs batted in his last 12 games, JD Martinez. Nine hits as a Diamondback. 6 of them are home runs. Well, for a while, didn't look like Chris Stratton would survive very long here. Just his second major league start. And a bumpy ride in the first inning, and then Ketel Marte led off the second with a double, but since then he's retired 6 in a row. Full count on Martinez, 3-2. Daniel Descalso on deck. On the ground to Crawford at shortstop.
Now, Brandon Crawford may be having a subpar offensive season by his standards, but he can still pick it and throw it. Only 4 errors all season at shortstop.
One of the best in the business out there. Descalso struck out looking his first time up tonight. The start tonight at second base. Dodgers have already won. They were trailing the Mets in New York 3-0 after Rich Hill gave up 3 solo homers, but LA came back and won 7-4. Brewers 3-0 winners at Tampa Bay. So Milwaukee very much in the discussion for the wild card and the National League Central. Brewers trying to keep pace with the Cubs. Cubbies beat the Nationals at Wrigley Field today 7-4. Rockies are beating up the Phillies 8-1. They're in the 7th inning at Coors Field. Popped up third base sign for the Panda.
It's been pointed out by our crack staff in the truck. The Dodgers have won more games in their last 50 than the Giants have all year.
Ouch.
43-7 over their last 50 games.
Giants are 42-69 this year.
Well, that's a sad sight for Giants fans and D-backs fans for that matter. That blue flag flying atop the National League West standings out there.
Dodgers hit 5 home runs in that game at Citi Field today. D-backs a half game ahead of Colorado for that first wild card spot. John Gray has gone 7 innings for the Rockies. 1 run, 6 hits. He's got 4 strikeouts. Two and 1. Ketel Marte rejoined his baseball family when we got in late from Chicago Thursday night, well after midnight Friday morning here at the hotel. And it was great to see him. He said his family told him, you know what, go back to work. So he believes he's got to work really hard for his family now and for his mom, who was tragically killed in that accident in the Dominican Republic. There's a walk with 2 outs to Marte. Second walk issued by Stratton. And it brings up Jeff Mathis. Jeff struck out looking his first time up. Mathis has hit safely in 16 of his last 18 games. And during that stretch, he's hitting over .330. Breaking balls in there for strike one.
Breaking ball up in his eyes that time. Tough to take that pitch. You see that off-speed delivery just kind of rolling up there, letter high.
Oh, 2 on Jeff Mathis. Sandoval at third. We head to the home half of the fourth inning. It's 2-0 Diamondbacks.
This game, but a look ahead to the Dodger series, and Torey Lovullo asked about the rotation, and he did have an announcement on that. Tuesday's game back at Chase Field against the Dodgers, Zach Godley will get the start. Zach Greinke in Wednesday's game, and then Thursday is to be announced. You can imagine there are some options obviously there, but one thing he said is that Robbie Ray is unlikely. They don't want to rush him. He is feeling great. He's getting back to baseball activity, but they do not want to press him into activity when he really hasn't done a lot of throwing quite yet. So obviously Anthony Bonda, solid outing last night. Taijuan Walker, there is an off day Monday. It could be an option, so we'll just wait and see, guys, but that is going to be a tremendous series.
Should be a lot of fun, Jody, at Chase Field coming up. Get your tickets, dbacks.com. It's going to be a big homestand. There's no doubt about that. Dodgers in for 3, then the Cubs in for 3, and the Astros in for 2. 2 of a 4-game home and home as Crawford grounds out to open up the bottom of the 4th. That off day on Monday gives them some flexibility there, BB, for that LA series.
Yeah, we've been very fortunate in that respect, the way the off days have fallen this year, giving Torey Lovullo some options if he wants to skip a guy or push a guy back a day. He really used the off days well so far this year.
Second at bat now that he's a Giant again for Pablo Sandoval, who grounded out his first time up. Just activated by the Giants today. Brandon Belt goes on the 7-day concussion DL after he was hit in the head last night. Sandoval's had his own injury problems this year. The Panda caps are back out. They've dusted them off, pulled them out of a box in the attic. Panda in Boston missed 31 games with a right knee sprain, and he was out another 19 games with an ear infection.
Yeah, a couple days ago you could have got that hat, buy one get one free at the local thrift store, but now that Pablo's back, they're in vogue again.
Released by the Red Sox right after the All-Star break. He signed with the Giants a few days later and brought up to the minor leagues today. Sandoval played only one full season in Boston. He was a real washout with the Red Sox. Hard to second. Descalso from the edge of the outfield grass. 2 down. Five in a row retired by Taijuan Walker. Here's Jared Parker. Taijuan really had to labor in that 3rd inning. Giants had 2nd and 3rd, no outs, but did not get a run across. But Taijuan threw a bunch of pitches, so a nice quick 4th would be welcome news for Torey Lovullo. Bullpen's a little tired right now. They're in decent shape, but you know, Fernando Rodney has saved 3 consecutive games now. Jorge De La Rosa's pitched a lot lately. David Hernandez has pitched a lot lately. Some guys have really had a heavy workload on this road trip.
Well, and that happens when you play a lot of close games and have a lead late. You want your best relievers out there on the mound late in the ball game. Yeah, fortunately, Torey has been able to kind of split it up just until the last few days.
Yeah, last night De La Rosa 1 inning, Hernandez 1 inning, and Rodney an inning. David Hernandez has looked great since
sure has.
He was picked up at the deadline from the Angels. So we'll see later on who's available and who might not be. They did not have to use Archie Bradley last night, so that was a blessing. Archie's pitched a bunch lately. TJ McFarland should be good to go if they need him.
Bullpen coming off a gold medal performance in the bullpen at Wrigley Field in the bobsled.
The USA Bobsled wants them to come by and try an actual bobsled. They got an invitation from the Bobsled Federation. Little jam pop up, third base sign for Lamb. 6 in a row retired by Taijuan Walker. Diamondbacks have a 2-0 lead. Fog here. D-backs lead the Giants 2-0. Fans, now is the best time to become a Diamondbacks season ticket holder. You can enjoy exclusive benefits, flexible payment options, and you can design a plan that's just right for you. Plus, buy now and guarantee postseason priority. Buy or renew online, dbacks.com/advantage. You can become a 2018 D-backs season ticket holder and design your own plan. Weekend plan, half season plan, full season. They'll help you out, figure out where you want to sit. They'll walk you around the ballpark at Chase Field, and you can try the seats out for size. See if you like where they are. Make sure you got the right row. Do you want to be first base, third base? They'll take you all over the park. Make sure you're comfortable and happy. Diamondbacks are really good about that. If you're a season ticket holder, they take care of you.
You know, and we see it every day when we go to Chase Field. Some of the representatives walking fans around the ballpark. They sit in some seats and they move over to the other side of the field and sit in some seats. Like you said, you get to pick your seats, check them out, make sure it's the sight line you want, close to whichever concession you prefer.
It's like having a realtor take you from house to house.
Yeah.
I like this street here. Walker dunks one into right center, a leadoff single. So check that out, fans. Now's the time. Become a D-backs season ticket holder. dbacks.com/advantage. All the information is for you right there online. David Peralta has doubled and flied out. Although he flew out to end the second on a tremendous sliding catch by Jared Parker in the left field corner. Should really have two doubles. That one is blasted by Panic and into right center. Taiwan heads for third. Peralta digging for second, and he is out of there.
Just a perfect throw back in. Brandon Crawford picks it on a short hop, gets the glove down in front of the bag. Boy, tough to tell if he was ever tagged. Of course, David with that slide missed with the front leg. Might have got him on the back leg before he got on the base.
A single for Peralta, 8-6 on the putout at second. No challenge from Torey Lovullo, and A.J. Pollock is the hitter. Walker at third, one out. Boy, I don't think Crawford ever tagged him.
It turned into an out at second base, but another ball hit right on the button against Chris Stratton. Even some of the outs in this game have been smoked.
Yeah, Stratton had a very bumpy ride in the first inning. Gave up a leadoff double to Ketel Marte in the second, and then retired 8 straight. But the Diamondbacks starting to get to him a little bit here now, as he goes through the order for the third time. Sandoval throws it away. Walker is home, and it's 3-0. Pandemonium here at AT&T Park.
Is he playing shallow down there at third? AJ just smothers that ball into the dirt right in front of home plate. Panda got to it in good shape, just airmailed the throw over everybody. Walker was going to hold over there at third base, but of course when that throw is sailed over near the first base dugout, he's able to walk home.
That's E5, the error on Pablo Sandoval. No RBI for Pollock, who winds up at second base. Walker scores the third Diamondback run, and here's Jake Lamb. By the way, that Peralta single that he blasted into right center field, 109 miles an hour off the bat. So that was really hard hit. Jake has been hit by a pitch. He flied out his last time up. I'd like to see AJ try and steal third, just to see how quickly the Panda can move to get to the bag. AJ might beat him there. Close at second, but he's back safely, says Ben May.
Yeah, the problem with getting much of a lead out there at second base is the fact that Brandon Crawford is playing a little bit up the middle of the field with Jake Lamb at the plate. Tough to get that big lead you need to steal third base, or at least the walking lead you need to steal third base.
Yeah, Crawford staying right in his back pocket there. Jake ahead, 2 balls and no strikes. Three and 0. Goldie on deck. Goldie was up with the bases loaded in the first inning, nobody out, and hit an absolute rocket deep to right center field that Denard Span caught up with. He settled for the RBI sac fly. Three out to Lamb. Swinging away on 3-0. Bounces foul at first. Ryder Jones, the rookie down there tonight. Brandon Belt on the concussion DL. Jake Lamb a chance to pick up a run here. Pollock at second and 1 out. Jake a .360 career hitter at AT&T Park. He's homered here 3 times. Tracks that one for ball 4, and here comes Goldie.
Hey fans, anytime the D-backs score 5 runs or more, Taco Bell is giving away 3 free tacos with the purchase of a large drink between 4 and 6 the following day at participating locations.
Dave Righetti to the mound. Conference time for young Chris Stratton, making just his 2nd ever major league start. This is only his 5th big league appearance of the year. Spent some time in the bullpen earlier this season. Bullpen will get busy now for the Giants. Albert Suarez, the right-hander, makes his way out there. So a run is in. 2 on and 1 out for Goldie. Goldie on this road trip so far, 4 home runs and 13 RBIs counting tonight. .25 homers. He's already passed his total from all of last season. Lead swing at that breaking ball, and it's 0-2. A.J. Pollock at second, Jake Lamb at first. Two balls and 2 strikes. Talked about that earlier tonight. Goldie down 0-2. Now it's back even 2-2. J.D. Martinez on deck. Says strike 3. Goldie with a word or two as he walks away. Oh, for crying out loud.
Well, you know how I feel, and fans know how I feel. It's just not right when the umpire, because of bad calls, directly influences ball games.
Borderline strikes are one thing. You can't nitpick about those, but that was a bad miss. JD Martinez, an RBI double in the first.
Mentally flipping a coin back there tonight. Heads for strike, tails for a ball. That pitch looked like it was all over the strike zone to JD Martinez. He called it a ball.
Two and 0.
Maybe some makeup calls for the strike 3 call on Goldie.
I think I'd rather have Goldie's pitch back. Thanks.
Yeah.
It is an inexact science. This is the part where I try and
just keep it up.
Calm you down a little bit. Fastball missed upstairs, and it's 3-0 on JD. Descalso on deck. Stratton has walked 3, struck out 4.
Boy, and you know JD has the green light if he gets a pitch to his liking right here. Make sure it's exactly what you're looking for.
Takes the 3-0. JD hit one hard into the left field corner his first time up for an RBI double. Grounded out on a 3-2 pitch in his last at bat to start the 4th. Pollock is at second, Lamb at first, 2 outs. He walked him. The bases are loaded. Second walk in the inning for Stratton. And here comes Descalso. Daniel has struck out, popped up 0 for 2. He's due. 3 for 20 on the road trip right now.
And Stratton working his way through the D-backs order for the 3rd time, even though they did most of their damage in that first inning. We're getting a 3rd look at him here. There should be no surprises at this point.
Ball 1. Popped up left field for Parker. Stratton leaves them loaded. Diamondbacks get one. They lead it 3-0. have a 3-0 lead over the Giants, and fans, don't forget, if you can't watch the game on your television, stream it live with your mobile device. Just use Fox Sports Go. It's presented by your Valley Honda dealers. Download the app. It's free, by the way. And take Fox Sports Arizona and the Diamondbacks with you wherever you go. Hunter Pence leads off the San Francisco fifth against Taijuan Walker. Taijuan has retired the last 6 Giants he's faced. He's not walked a batter. He's got 4 strikeouts. Chris Stratton, the pitcher, is due up 4th in this inning. Kyle Crick has started warming up in the Giant bullpen. Pence grounded out his first time up tonight. It's 1-1. There's Kyle Crick. He was a highly thought of Giants pitching prospect a few years ago, but he's kind of fallen on hard times. Pence couldn't check his swing, and it's 1-2. Fastball missed. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Hunter Pence has only 20 extra base hits all year. He's not homered here at AT&T Park this season. The power has suddenly vanished. He's only got 12 RBIs in his home park all season long. Tough to win like that. Hunter Pence now in his 5th full season in San Francisco after stops in Houston and Philadelphia. A lot of injury problems in recent years. And Walker strikes him out. 5 strikeouts for Taijuan. He's now sit down 7 straight.
With a good slider. He kind of lost the feel for it in that 3rd inning. This is a real good one right there to Pence. Breaks it off that outside corner. Started it on the outer 3rd of the plate.
Boy, if that pitch can develop like it looks like it is, he's going to become dangerous out there. Joe Panik, a base hit his first time up today. Mentioned that Hunter Pence has only 20 extra base hits all season. Last night was the Giants' 6th game this year with 0 extra base hits for the entire team. First time they've done that since June 6th at Milwaukee. Diamondbacks last night 2-1 winners. Giants had only 3 hits, all singles. Giants' only run came home with a base-loaded walk.
Yeah, one of those singles was a bunt base hit.
Yeah, you're right. Kelby Tomlinson. Two and one on Joe Panik. In the air, pretty deep right field. J.D. Martinez backing up, and he's got it on the warning track.
Hey fans, the day after every D-backs win, get 50% off all pizzas at regular menu price using promo code D-backs50 at papajohns.com.
2 down for the catcher, Nick Hundley. Hundley doubled to center field back in the 3rd inning. Giants in the 3rd. Had runners at 2nd and 3rd, nobody out, but Taijuan Walker left him there. Got Stratton, the pitcher, to ground out. Span flied out. Ryder Jones popped up.
You talk about the Giants only getting 3 base hits in the game last night. You got to tip your cap to Anthony Banda. What a great outing for him. Gave up only those 3 base hits, and as we mentioned, one of them was a bunt base hit. He did walk 4 batters. But there's nothing better for a starting pitcher than the day after you picked up a victory. Go to the ballpark, break a little sweat, do a little running, maybe play a little catch, and then put your feet up and bask in the glory.
He was funny with Jody last night. He had a big smile on his face, and he tried to say the right things at first, and he finally gave up and said, "No, I won't lie to you. It's the greatest feeling in the world." So good for you.
Yep.
80 pitches for Taijuan Walker, 52 strikes. Yeah, the Diamondbacks have not yet named a starter, as Jody mentioned earlier, for that Thursday game against the Dodgers at Chase Field. Pitcher spot is up next. Moncrief on deck. He'll get a chance as Hundley goes 2 for 2. A 2-out single to right. Let's go downstairs to Jody.
Well, Steve, you know, you talked about that Bonda's family was there at Chase Field for his debut, but they were watching on TV last night back home, and there was kind of a watch party from what Anthony told me on the pregame show. A lot of people gathering, family and friends, and so that's a pretty cool way to do it as well. But he was excited after he got to talk to everyone after that first one. He did get the lineup card, so very special night.
Mike Butcher to the mound as Bruce Bochy will hit for his pitcher Chris Stratton. Carlos Moncrief, a 28-year-old rookie, has been announced as the pinch hitter for the pitcher. Taiwan, before the Hundley single, had retired 8 straight. He's still given up only 3 hits in the ball game, and Hundley has 2 of them. So now with 2 down and 1 on, they'll work to Carlos Moncrief, who has 3 hits and 6 at bats to begin his major league career. Got his first 2 big league hits Monday in Oakland. A 14th round pick by Cleveland back in 2008. Never made it to the Indians big league roster. Spent the last couple of years in the Giants system and was finally called up to the big leagues for the first time ever at the end of July. 28 years old. He'll be 29 in November.
Yeah, Moncrief was born in Jackson, Mississippi, but makes his home in Goodyear, Arizona.
It was a 14th round pick by Cleveland out of Chipola College on the Florida Panhandle. That's where Patrick Corbin pitched. .2-0 is fouled away. Taijuan Walker's spot is due up 3rd in the top of the 6th. Bullpen might be down a man or 2 tonight. We're not sure, so we'll see how far Torrey wants to extend Walker. Be nice to get at least 1 more inning out of it. A lot of work in that 22-pitch 3rd inning when the Giants had 2nd and 3rd no outs, but Walker kept them scoreless. Toward the bullpen, 3rd base side, and it's drifting into the seats.
Jake Lamb had to kind of veer around the bullpen catcher down there. Giants have a pitcher warming up. 3rd base umpire Scott Berry signaled safe, which means he felt there was no interference there. They did not prohibit Jake from making a play.
It's Kyle Crick warming up down there as Moncrief hits for the pitcher Stratton. That stays fair for Goldie, and that ends the inning. We head to the 6th in San Francisco. It's 3-0 Diamondbacks. What's next? Brought to you by CenturyLink. We wrap up this series and this long 10-game road trip with the finale here at AT&T Park. Diamondbacks live pregame show at 12:30. A 105 first pitch for Patrick Corbett against the Shark. Jeff Samardzija, who's had a rough year, 6-11, a 4.77 ERA. New pitcher for the Giants, the right-hander Kyle Crick. His 14th appearance of the year. So far so good, a 2.93 ERA, but this is a guy who was once considered a very top prospect in the Giants system, a former first-round pick who has spent the last 3 full seasons at Double-A. He's repeated Double-A twice now, and his progress really stalled in their minor league system. And he's up here now as a reliever. Ketel Marte has doubled and walked. He leads off the 6th. Kyle Crick, a first-round pick by the Giants out of high school in Sherman, Texas. That was 6 years ago now. He began his pro career as a starting pitcher. Finally had to be transitioned in Double-A into the bullpen. It just wasn't working out. Crawford at shortstop throws him out.
Hey fans, a D-backs home run tonight means a free jumbo jack tomorrow at participating Jack in the Box locations with the purchase of a large drink.
Jeff Mathis 0 for 2.
You know, in the Midwest, a creek is a small body of flowing water.
Sure, like a creek.
Well, creek. Up on Cripple Creek.
Well, the Giants believe that Kyle Crick still has youth on his side. He's only 24. But they expected a lot more from him. That they're hoping to get something. They've seen some flashes of talent. He's certainly got size and strength and ability. Swing and miss fastball at times. Mathis dunks that one into right field, a 1-out single. So make it an 11-game hitting streak now for Jeff Mathis. Taijuan Walker singled and scored his last time up.
Usually in a situation like this, you ask your pitcher to put down a sac bunt, but Taijuan's been swinging a bat pretty good lately. He's squaring around.
Here comes the Panda in like a bowling ball from third. Taijuan ready to square up again. Here comes Sandoval. Pulls back and takes ball 1.
And knowing that Sandoval's charging as hard as he is from third base, Taijuan should try to put this ball down on the first base side of the field. Unless he can hit a passing shot. You know, it's a term in tennis, isn't it? When a player charges the net and you hit the ball by him. Yeah, passing shot.
Look at you, Bud Collins. 1 and 2.
Well, the only reason I know that is because back in my managing days, Todd Helton was the first baseman for the Colorado Rockies, and he used to charge sacrifice bunt situations so hard that we tried to encourage our guys to try to push it right past him, right down the first base line. Didn't work very often, but it was a thought.
Can you actually charge too hard on a bunt attempt if you're a corner infielder?
Well, if you're out of control, yeah. I mean, you want to get in there into a position where if the guy does bunt the ball, you can pick it up and at least have the option of getting the lead runner. But if you charge too hard and you're not under control when that ball's bunted, you could run right past it.
2 and 2 to Taijuan. Not bunting anymore. Now it's a full count. Tony Perez-Chica flashing the signs at third. Peralta on deck. Chopped to shortstop. Tricky play for Crawford. Bobbles the ball, and Taiwan's aboard. He looked towards second, thought about maybe trying to get Mathis, never could get a handle on it, and Walker beats it out up the line.
Boy, a tip of the cap to Taiwan Walker. How many times have we seen a pitcher put a ball in play and just jog 50% down the first baseline? You know, they have to save their energy. Taiwan just put his head down and ran as hard as he could to first base right there and ends up reaching safely on the E6.
A rare Brandon Crawford error. Diamondbacks 2 on, 1 out now for the leadoff man, David Peralta. Second time Taiwan Walker's been aboard tonight. Peralta has doubled, singled, scored a run. He's 2 for 3. And he dunks that one into left center. Mathis being waved home. Walker stops at second. The RBI for David Peralta. And it's 4-0 D-backs. Three-hit day for the freight train.
Building an inning, as Torrey likes to say. David Peralta with a slashing line drive into that gap in left center field, easily scoring Jeff Mathis from second base. Taiwan Walker, after busting it down that first base line, momentarily had thoughts about going for third, but when Span came up with it cleanly, he hit the brakes.
Here's A.J. Pollock. A.J. walked and scored in the first. 0 for 2. Three straight Diamondbacks have reached against Kyle Crick. Walker the pitcher at second, Peralta at first. On a play, and it's 1-1. This started with Jeff Mathis's 1-out single. He just came around to score the RBI for Peralta. Mathis now with an 11-game hitting streak and a career-long 17-game on-base streak. So Jeff has had, for the most part, a really good second half of the season offensively. A.J. singled and scored a run last night. He's walked and scored tonight. Did he go? No, he didn't, Brian O'Neill. 2-2. That one gets behind Hundley and everybody moves up.
It would appear that that ball got into the dirt. I'm not sure if Hundley was crossed up or just missed that one.
Full count on Pollock. Walker now at third, Peralta at second. A.J. chases one there and strikes out.
A little bit of a slower breaking ball that time from Crick. Starts it right down the middle, sweeps it off that outside corner. A.J. couldn't quite reach it.
He scored that a pass ball on Nick Hundley, by the way. Puts Walker at third, Peralta at second base. Here's Jake Lamb, who walked his last time up. Single can tack on 2 more here. D-backs with 2 in the first, 1 in the 5th, now 1 already in here in the 6th. Jake 0 for 1 tonight. He's been hit by a pitch and walked. First pitch of the inning from Kyle Crick. In the air behind second. Span coming in. Crawford running all the way out there. And he's got it in shallow center. Diamondbacks lead the Giants 4-0. And 13 this season when they score at least 4 runs, and they lead the Giants here 4-0. Fans, don't forget, secure your seats right now for some big games coming up. You don't want to miss some of these August games at Chase Field. D-backs and Dodgers for 2 series this month, August 8th through the 10th and the 29th through the 31st. The Cubs will be in town for a weekend series coming up next weekend. And the Astros August 14th and 15th. So these are some big series against some good teams, all postseason teams it looks like. And you can get your tickets right now at dbacks.com. 4-0 Diamondbacks as we start the home half of the 6th inning. Taijuan Walker has been very impressive once again. He's given up only 3 hits. He's not walked a batter. He's got 5 strikeouts. And Denard Span, the leadoff man, leads off the 6th. Span 0 for 2. Taijuan Walker coming off a loss at St. Louis earlier on this road trip. That was Sunday. He only gave up 3 runs, 4 hits, and 5 2/3, but took the loss. Struck out 10 in that ball game. So tonight, Taijuan looking for his first win since June 21st. He's been overdue. He's been excellent this season on the road, really all year long, and has been outstanding once again tonight. Late time granted there by Quinn Walker.
Way too late. He had already gone into his leg kick.
That's happening more and more.
Yeah, and MLB made a concerted effort not to do that. It really puts the pitcher in a very vulnerable situation when you try to call timeout in the middle of a delivery. Yeah, we've seen it happen a lot this year.
Here's Taiwan on the road. 9 starts, a 2.94 ERA. His last 5 road starts, Walker's 3-1. That seems like the kind of thing that can be corrected, or at least attempted to be corrected, by a memo. One of these famous memos that we're told get sent out to the umpires.
You would think so.
I know they want to be as considerate as they can to the hitter, but it becomes a health issue. Span sends this one out to Martinez, and JD makes a nice running grab. Here's Ryder Jones, the first baseman. Taiwan now at 93 pitches. Jones hits an easy fly ball to David Peralta, drifting back just in front of the warning track out there. Gotten that wind a bit. The challenge for David. 2 outs in the 6th.
Yeah, the wind has turned around a little bit since the beginning of the ball game. It was kind of blowing out to right center field earlier. Now appears to be blowing from the right field corner toward the left field corner. That one played some tricks on David out there.
Yeah, that wind really did just change in between innings. It was blowing out to right center field just a few minutes ago. He can laugh about it now.
I'm sure he's hearing it from the fans out there in the left field bleachers.
Now, what makes you say that?
Well, a lot of games in this
experience. Crawford has struck out, grounded out, 0 for 2. Base is empty, 2 down. Walker at 95 pitches. Taiwan's first 2 starts as a Diamondback came against the Giants. A win in his D-backs debut April 5th against San Francisco. A loss here at AT&T Park 5 days after that, when he gave up only 2 earned runs in 5 innings. That was the game in which he hit Buster Posey in the head with that fastball. Crawford hitless in the series, 0 for 5 so far. He's down 0-2. Got him. Taiwan Walker, a 1-2-3 6th inning. He's got 6 strikeouts and a 4-0 lead. Not too much wind. It's not such a bad night here. As we start the 7th inning, we remind you fans that Fox Sports Supports is proud to team up with Girls on the Run and their dedication to empowering young girls and instilling confidence through running. You can learn more about how you can get involved this fall at foxsportsupports.com. Kyle Crick out there for his 2nd inning of work as Goldie leads off the 7th. Taijuan Walker holding a 4-0 lead. Taijuan 6 scoreless innings so far. He's given up only 3 hits with 6 strikeouts. Goldie is 0 for 2 with an RBI sac fly. Taijuan is overdue some victories because he's pitched so well this year. Taijuan Walker this year, when the Diamondbacks scored at least 3 runs, is 4-0 with 3 no decisions. And a tough luck loss Sunday in St. Louis, but in line for the win here, 4-0 as we start the 7th. Goldie 6 hits in his last 10 at bats, including a triple and 3 homers. There's the 2-0 strike. Taijuan Walker has been outstanding, including that 3rd inning when he had 2nd and 3rd no outs and kept it scoreless. Walker so far 99 pitches, 66 strikes. Three and 1 to Paul Goldschmidt. J.D. Martinez, Daniel Descalso coming up after this. Goldie fouls the 3-1 straight back on a fastball that time.
One thing we know from past experience, when Goldie gets into one of his hot streaks, it's imperative that the guy hitting behind him in the order start to swing the bat well too. Otherwise, Goldie just won't get anything to hit if they pitch to him at all.
Yeah, Torey Lovullo actually was asked about that before the game today, and he said based on the way Goldie's going right now, the hottest hitter in the game, he expects the teams may start pitching around him and expects J.D. Martinez will be ready for that. Teams, it seems, have been a little slow to catch on. They're still pitching to Goldie. We're not quite sure why. Late on a fastball. Crick challenges and 1. J.D. Martinez, an RBI double in the 1st inning. Diamondbacks got 2 in the 1st. It's our Cox high-speed highlights.
Yeah, line drives like this off the base of the fence will get Goldie some pitches to hit. J.D. Martinez with a screaming line drive into that left field corner.
Got 1 RBI on the double. Jake Lamb, who was right behind A.J. Pollock, actually was thrown out at home plate. A terrific relay throw by Brandon Crawford. Cut down Lamb at the plate. So J.D. with an RBI double and a walk tonight. He's 1 for 2. Martinez now with 8 RBIs in 9 games on the road trip, counting tonight. Diamondbacks, with the exception of 2 games in Chicago, really. Starts by Corbin and Greinke have received outstanding pitching this whole road trip from their starters. Patrick had a rough night at Wrigley Field, and Zach Greinke had a big lead in his start, but then hung a couple of pitches to Wilson Contreras. Greinke wound up giving up 6 earned runs in 6 innings in that start. But other than those 2 games, the pitching for Torey Lovullo's rotation has really been good.
Well, all you ask is that your starting pitcher give you a chance to win, and they've pretty much done that on a consistent basis.
4 excellent starts in St. Louis, but they were only able to win 2 games of that 4-game set. The Cardinals in that series did very little offensively. Only scored 5 runs in 4 games, St. Louis. 1-2 on J.D. Martinez. J.D. gets one in the air. It's headed for Triple's alley. A little too high, though. Can anybody find it? Hunter Pence lost the ball. J.D. Martinez digging for third. And he is in there. Hunter Pence couldn't find it. Denard Span yielded there with Pence playing over toward right center as the right fielder usually does here. But Pence just had no idea where the baseball was.
Well, neither did Denard Span. Span immediately put his hands up like you see Hunter Pence doing right there. It's that time of night. Very tough to pick up the ball if you don't keep your eye on it from the point of contact until you make the catch. And once again, a Diamondbacks hitter / runner just puts his head down and goes hard. Ends up at third base.
Well, balls hit there usually go for triples, just not those types of fly balls. But it is Triple's alley after all, so it's the 3rd triple this year for J.D. Martinez. He's at third, 1 out for Daniel Descalso, who's 0 for 3. Infield creeps in for the Giants.
And J.D. Martinez hustle getting to third base right there enhanced Daniel Descalso's chance to get a base hit in this at bat. Now the Giants have to play their infield in. If he was still at second base, they'd be playing very, very deep. Tougher to drive that ball through the infield.
Jammed him. Panic at second. Here's Ketel Marte back in the starting lineup. He had a hard double to right field in the 2nd inning. He walked in the 4th, 1 for 2. Ketel in his last 11 games. He's got 4 doubles and 3 home runs. That one squirts just foul into the bullpen for the Giants. Diamondbacks have stranded some base runners tonight. They've had some chances. The score could be a lot more than it is. Trying to get Martinez home from third with 2 outs. He stranded Marte's leadoff double in the 2nd inning. And bases loaded in the 5th left him loaded. Stranded 2 runners in the 6th as well. 0-2 on Ketel Marte. Rockies have won. They beat the Phillies 8-5. John Gray got his 4th win. Nick Pivetta the loss. Brewers beat Tampa Bay at the Trop in St. Pete 3-0. Dodgers, who were down 3-0 at Citi Field in New York, came back to beat the Mets 7-4. LA hit 5 homers in that game.
Zach Davies, 7 innings of 1-hit shutout baseball for the Brewers today.
Their pitching is held up. It's a fly ball out to Jared Parker in left field. And they wind up stranding Martinez at third. We stretch in San Francisco. It's 4-0 Diamondbacks. The Giants 4-0 as we start the home half of the 7th inning. We'll remind you next Friday, August 11th, it's 90s night at Chase Field. During the D-backs and Cubs 6:40 start, don't miss a free 90s postgame concert featuring Sugar Ray's Mark McGrath. That's presented by Crystal Pepsi. Visit dbacks.com/concert for all the info. Taijuan Walker back out there to start the 7th inning against Pablo Sandoval, making his Giant return. Taijuan right now with 100 pitches, 66 for strikes. And the Panda shoots one toward the gap in left center, and it gets to the wall. Sandoval on the run, and he pulls into second with his 3rd double. That's just the 4th hit for the Giants against Taijuan Walker.
Center cut fastball that time. Sandoval with that inside out swing finds that gap in left center.
Well, Taijuan Walker's spot is due up second in the 8th inning. This is almost certainly going to be it for him. But you'd like to get him through the 7th if you could. Bullpen still quiet for the Diamondbacks, at least for the moment. Here's Jared Parker 0 for 2. Fastball misses up, and it's 1-0. Parker has struck out, popped up. 222 on the year. Now the bullpen gets busy for the Diamondbacks. Jake Barrett making his way out there. Bullpen might be down a man or 2 tonight. Rodney has worked 3 days in a row. Jorge De La Rosa has worked a lot lately. So has David Hernandez. So we'll see. But right now it's Barrett who starts to get cranked up. Two and 1 on Jared Parker. This is slammed toward the right field corner and off the wall. Sandoval coming home with the first Giant run, and it's 4-1. Back-to-back doubles open up the San Francisco seventh.
You see they wanted that ball in. It strays up and out over the plate. Parker has so many moving parts in his swing. The high leg kick. He's got a hitch with his hands. He's really susceptible inside. That's where Jeff Mathis wanted that fastball, but Taijuan missed his spot.
Mike Butcher will make a walk out to the mound. Barrett warming up in the bullpen. Taijuan at 105 pitches.
As you mentioned, Taijuan's spot is due up second in the top half of the 8th inning. So if you're going to want more than one inning out of Jake Barrett, you're going to have to make a double switch, because if you bring Jake into the ball game and leave him in the 9 spot, you're probably going to have to hit for him right away in that 2 spot in the lineup in the 8th. Marte made the last out in the 7th. He would be a possible double switch candidate. Daniel Descalso made the out before, so probably one of those 2 guys if indeed Torrey does make a double switch.
Yeah, you could bring Brandon Drury in off the bench to play second base if you wanted to. Move Marte around. A couple of options there. Hunter Pence is the hitter. He's grounded out, struck out 0 for 2. Pence comes into tonight riding a 6-game hitting streak. He's homered twice during that streak. Takes a wild swing at that one. And hits it over there to the third base coach, former Reno Aces manager Phil Nevin. Missed up with a slider, and it's 1-1. Hunter Pence gets into one, hits it deep left field, and gone. His first home run at AT&T Park this season, his 9th of the year. And the Giants are back within 1. He had not homered in his home ballpark all year long.
Breaking ball that just stayed there on the inside part of the plate for Hunter Pence. He takes that big swing. Wind continues to blow that direction and pushes it up into the 3rd row out there in left field.
Taijuan Walker will exit with a 4-3 lead. Back after this. Out there to start the 7th at 99 pitches and was hit hard. 2 doubles and a home run. Suddenly a 4-0 Diamondbacks lead has been cut to 4-3. No outs in the 7th, and the new pitcher answering the ash line call to the bullpen. It's the right-hander Jake Barrett. Joe Panik will be the hitter. Sandoval doubled, Parker doubled, Pence homered. Andrew Chafin has started warming up in the Diamondback bullpen. Panik singled in the third. He's 1 for 2.
That's the first home run here at AT&T Park for a Giants hitter against a Diamondbacks pitcher in 265 at bats.
Wow. Going back to last year, man. Yep. Hunter Pence, his 9th of the season and his first here in his home park. Pence came into the game with only 20 extra base hits all year. His slugging percentage was barely .360. Down more than 100 points from his career mark. But he came up with a big one right there. Now it's 1-1 on Panik. That's on a play, ball and 2 strikes. So Taiwan goes 6+, gives up 3 runs on 6 hits. He struck out 6, did not walk a batter. Chafin continuing to get loose. Corey Guerin warming up in the Giant bullpen, the right-hander. 1-2 to Panik. Panik has had a pretty quiet bat as of late. He's hitting under 200 in his last 16 games. He's had a really slow offensive season. Nick Hundley, who's got a double and a single in 2 at bats, is on deck. Pitcher spot behind him. D-backs trying to stay a half game ahead of Colorado for that first National League wild card spot. Rockies beat the Phillies at Coors Field 8-5. Dodgers 7-4 winners in New York. They beat the Mets. The Dodgers have gone 43-7 since June the 7th. That is the best 50-game stretch by any major league team since 1912.
Wow. It's been a while.
More than 100 years. Full count on Joe Panik, 3-2. 8th pitch of the at-bat on the way. They walked him. Tying runs aboard for the Giants. Still nobody out. Here's Hundley, 2 for 2. Pitcher spot up behind Hundley. Miguel Gomez is in the on-deck circle. Fastballs a strike, and it's 0-1. Saw Gomez pinch hit in the 7th inning last night. He struck out against Jorge De La Rosa. Ten pitches for Jake, only half for strikes. Chafin ready down there in the Diamondback bullpen. Fly ball toward the right field corner. Martinez gets over there. And he's got it just shy of the wall. That's the first out in the Giants' 7th.
Now the wind may have done the Diamondbacks a favor there that time. That ball normally would probably slice close to foul territory down the right field line, but a strong wind blowing out to center field kind of pushed it back to the field of play, and JD was able to make the catch.
Gomez will hit for the pitcher Crick. The switch hitter batting left-handed against the right-hander Barrett. 231 in 18 games to begin his major league career. He struck out in his only at bat last night.
Yeah, very limited playing time for Miguel Gomez, but a much better hitter from the left side of the plate. Now, if you were baited into bringing in Andrew Chafin to face him and turn him around to the right side, there's a good chance you might get Buster Posey off the bench.
They've got a bunch of lefties coming up for the Giants after this. Span and Jones and Crawford. Chafin still getting loose down there. That fastball missed someplace. It's 2-0. Gomez up from Double-A Richmond. He was hitting .305 down there in just under 80 games. 8 home runs. Two-1 is swung on. It'll pop up to second, and Descalso's there for the second out. Denard Span is the hitter. Here comes Torey Lovullo. He's got his left-hander ready, but he's going to check in with Quinn Walcott at home plate. And Adam Rosales is jogging onto the field. So it's a double switch. You were right, BB. He's going to play second base for Descalso. We'll sort it out when we come back. It's a one-run ball game in San Francisco. Two outs in the 7th inning. A double switch here from Torey Lovullo. With a whole bunch of left-handers coming up for the Giants, at least in terms of the lineup that's scheduled. Your ash line call to the bullpen gives us the lefty Andrew Chafin, his 50th appearance this year, a 2.37 ERA. Adam Rosales checks into the ball game. He replaces Daniel Descalso at second base, so Rosales will hit 9th. Pitcher spot now 6th in the Diamondback order. And Denard Span is the hitter. Ryder Jones A left-hand batter is due up next.
It's a big out to get right here. You don't even want to give Bruce Bochy the opportunity to drop Buster Posey in there as a pinch hitter for Ryder Jones. Let's get Denard Span right here.
Span hitting just .213 this year versus left-hand pitching.
And since the end of May, Andrew Chafin has held lefties to a .189 batting average. You never know when a game starts where the key at bats are going to fall, but this is a key at bat in the ball game for Andrew Chafin and the Diamondbacks. As we mentioned, if you get Denard Span right here, you're not going to see Buster Posey in this inning with runners in scoring position.
Torrey might try and get 4 outs here from Chafin if he can. Get Span here and then bring him back and work the 8th. Span 0 for 3. Joe Panic, the runner at first, 2 outs. 3 runs in for the Giants. This is sure enough right to the new guy, Rosales, and Chafin comes in and gets the job done. But the Giants get 3. It's a 4-3 Diamondback lead. Pick up 3 in the home half of the 7th. A Jared Parker RBI double and a 2-run homer by Hunter Pence, his 9th of the year. So it's a 1-run ball game as we start the 8th inning, and on from the Giant bullpen, the right-hander Corey Guerin. He's already thrown 50 innings this year. That's a career high, and he's done a pretty good job, a 2.16 ERA.
Corey Guerin is the guy that the Diamondbacks really took advantage of last year and earlier this season. He's got a lot of going on in his set position out of the stretch. He's leaning back and forth and starts his move to home plate before he lifts his leg. Dave McKay spotted numerous triggers for the base runners.
He is a deliberate worker. Mathis will lead off the Arizona 8th inning. Jeff Singleton scored his last time up, extending his hitting streak to 11 games. He's now hit safely in 17 of his last 19. Oh, and 2. Adam Rosales is on deck. David Peralta after that. Giants have a left-hander warming up in their bullpen. Josh Osich. who's been hit pretty hard lately. 8 runs in his last 2 1/3 innings. So he's had a rough time of it as of late. Got a left-hander Peralta due up third here in the 8th. Two and two on the Diamondback catcher. Corey Guerin never in any hurry out there.
I just wonder what's going through his mind when he comes up into that set position and then just sits there for 5 or 6 or 7, 10 seconds just staring at the catcher's glove. I mean, it's worked for him. As you said, his numbers are good this year. Heavy sinking fastball, sharp late breaking slider, but takes him a while to get ready to throw.
Oh yeah, he goes through the whole thing here, especially when you get a new baseball. Got to rub that up. All right, fix the sleeves, crick the neck. Now watch how long this takes here. First you got to get the sign, and now the mental process begins.
That was lightning quick for him.
Behind second, Panic drifting way out there. He's got it for the first out. Adam Rosales, his first at bat tonight. 237 and 4 homers. He singled and struck out twice in a start at shortstop last night. Double switched into the ball game, and the bottom of the 7th took over at second base for Descalso. Front door breaking balls in there. It's 0-1. Rosales 4 for 14 as a Diamondback so far. Long set by Guerin. That's in there for a strike. 0-2. Guerin takes so long that Rosales could just stand there like he does until he's started his motion. As you pointed out, Adam just waits with his foot in the bucket there until the pitcher has got his sign. Fly ball to center field. Span drifting over toward right center. 2 outs. And a good night for David Peralta. He should by all rights have 4 hits. It started off with this double to lead off the ball game just over the head of Pablo Sandoval. Then he hit a rocket ball into the gap there in the 5th inning. RBI single in the 6th. He also hit a fly ball into the corner on which Jared Parker made a terrific sliding catch to take a base hit away. And here he is. They have the left-hander Osich ready in the Giant bullpen, but Peralta is retired by Guerin, who works a 1-2-3 8th inning. Bottom 8 all the way. 4-3 D-backs. Was cut to 4-3 in the bottom of the 7th on a Jared Parker RBI double and a Hunter Pence 2-run homer. And that's where we stand. 4-3 ball game as we hit the home half of the 8th inning. And Kelby Tomlinson has come off the bench for Bruce Bochy. He will hit for Ryder Jones, the first baseman. David Hernandez warming up in the Diamondback bullpen. Andrew Chafin, who got the final out of the 7th, back out there to start the 8th.
I remember Kelby Tomlinson bunted for a base hit in the ball game last night, so Jake Lamb in on the grass at third base to make sure that doesn't happen leading off the 8th inning here.
1 for 4 with that bunt single last night. 260 on the year. Only 3 extra base hits this season for Kelby Tomlinson. Chafin jumps ahead 0-2. You've got Tomlinson hitting for Jones. Hernandez warming up in the bullpen. Left-hander Brandon Crawford on deck, and the switch hitting Pablo Sandoval behind him. Tomlinson dunks one into right center. He runs well. Martinez over to cut it off, and he stops there with a leadoff single. Tying runs aboard for the Giants to start the 8th. And Crawford is the hitter. He leads the Giants in RBIs. He's 0 for 3 tonight. Brandon Crawford has grounded out, struck out twice. Sam Dyson making his way down to the Giant bullpen. We saw Dyson pitch the 9th inning last night. Crawford, base hit. Tomlinson digging for third. And he's going to make it as Pollock overruns the ball. Martinez was there to back up AJ, who overran it. Tomlinson hit it third easily. So now the tie runs at third base. The go-ahead runs at first.
I think Bochy's trying to call Pablo Sandoval back to the bench. You see Brandon Crawford catches a slider right off the end of the bat, just got out into shallow center and died. I think AJ took his eye off the ball. No, he didn't. He just missed it. I thought he was peeking to see if Tomlinson was going to try to go to third base.
Well, here comes Buster Posey. Posey will hit for Sandoval. 326 and 11 homers. 0 for 3 with a walk and a strikeout last night. Here comes Torey Lovullo. As you mentioned, Bob, Torey has anticipated this. He's had David Hernandez warming up in the bullpen in case we saw Posey come off the bench. And that'll be the matchup right here. A lot going on in San Francisco. Back after this. The tying and go-ahead runs are aboard with nobody out, and Buster Posey steps in to hit for Pablo Sandoval. New pitcher for the Diamondbacks, the right-hander David Hernandez, who has been outstanding lately. We saw David work a 1-2-3 scoreless 8th inning last night. He threw only 9 pitches to get 3 outs. He threw 6 pitches in that marathon game Thursday in Chicago. First and third, no outs in a 4-3 ball game.
Buster Posey 2 for 12 lifetime against David Hernandez. One of the 2 hits, however, left the ballpark.
There you go. He is 7 for 30 career as a pinch hitter. Posey, even with his 0 for last night, is hitting better than .360 in his last dozen games. Comes into tonight at .326, 4th in the National League. That's a strike, 1-2. D-backs bullpen quiet for the moment. Dyson warming up in the Giant pen. Jared Parker, the on-deck hitter, 2-2 to Buster Posey. Up the middle, Ketel Marte steps on the bag and turns 2. But Tomlinson is home and the game is tied.
That's what run producers do. They find a way to get guys on the plate, even grounding into a double play to tie up the ball game.
Parker had an RBI double his last time up, 1 for 3 tonight. D-backs will put the shift on. 3 infielders now on the right-hand side. As Ketel Marte and Adam Rosales back up in the outfield grass. Goldie back there as well at first. Look out. That one almost got out of here on a line drive. About 50 feet foul, but it was way back there onto the walking concourse. Yes, he went. Scott Berry down there, and it's 0-2. D-backs in the 9th inning will have Pollock, Lamb, Goldschmidt due up 2, 3, and 4. Dyson is warming up in the Giant bullpen. And Walcott didn't like it. It's 1-2.
That's a pretty good take right there by Jared Parker. He swung at a couple of Taiwan Walker sliders down and in like that in his first at bat of the ball game, striking out.
Sam Dyson pitched the 9th inning here last night. Two and 2 to Jared Parker. Hunter Pence is on deck. He would be next. He homered his last time up. swing and a miss. Mathis can't find it, and Parker is going to reach. And this will give Pence a chance. It rolled over toward the Diamondback on deck circle, but Jeff couldn't see it.
That'll be a wild pitch on David Hernandez. Breaking ball ends up in the dirt. Just hit off the heel of Jeff Mathis' glove. Pops straight up in the air. He couldn't find it initially. By the time he does, Parker reaches.
And Pence, as Mike Butcher jogs out to the mound, will be the hitter. He came up in the 7th inning against Taijuan Walker and hit his first home run here at AT&T Park this year. Made it a 4-3 ball game. This was in the 7th. Taijuan hung one, and Pence didn't miss it, his 9th of the year.
Because of his approach, it's imperative that you keep off-speed pitches on that outside corner or farther away. He steps in the bucket, takes that big hack. He can't reach off-speed pitches off the outside corner, but if you make mistakes on the inner third, he can do what he did earlier.
Jumps on a first pitch fastball, and it's 0-1. One and two on Hunter Pence.
Nice block that time by Jeff Mathis. Went to the curveball, and that's exactly where he wanted it, in the dirt. Jeff able to keep it in front that time. And back with another curveball.
Another foul ball.
Well, once again, just caught a little bit too much plate right there. If you scoot that ball over another 6 inches toward the outside corner, you're likely to get a swing and a miss or soft contact off the end of Pence's bat.
Hernandez working for the 3rd day in a row. 6 pitches Thursday in Chicago. 9 pitches here last night. 1-2 on Hunter Pence. Parker takes off. The throw from Mathis is in time. They got him. Jeff Mathis throws out Jared Parker to win the 8th. And let's see if they want to take a look at this one. Diamondbacks are walking off the field. Now Bruce Bochy says no. We'll keep going. But the Giants tie it up at 4, due up in the 9th. A.J. Pollock, Jake Lamb, and then Paul Goldschmidt. to end the bottom of the 8th inning. And what is now a 4-4 ball game, and on to start the 9th for the Giants, just like he did last night. It's the right-hander Sam Dyson. His season was a disaster to start out with Texas, 4 blown saves in 17 games. They cut him loose in early June. Giants got him for a player to be named, and he's been a little better here. He didn't have to work too hard last night. He threw 9 pitches to get 3 outs in the 9th inning last night. Buster Posey and Kelby Tomlinson are moved around. Tomlinson will check into the game at third base, replacing Pablo Sandoval, and Buster Posey now at first, replacing Ryder Jones. A.J. Pollock walked and scored in the first. Reached on an error in the 5th. He's 0 for 3. Tomlinson at third.
It always happens.
It's amazing, isn't it?
It really is amazing. I'd like to see the analytics on that. Guys coming into a ball game and the first ball is hit right to him.
It happened when Adam Rosales took over at second base as part of a double switch earlier tonight. So 1 out for Jake Lamb. Jake has been hit by a pitch. He's walked 0 for 2. Didn't go, says Scott Barry at third. It's 1-0. Diamondbacks bullpen is busy now. Archie Bradley and TJ McFarland are both warming up down there. First base for Posey. Sure enough, it finds the 2 new guys. First 2. Fernando Rodney has saved 3 consecutive ball games, so he may be down tonight. So it might be a case of McFarland if it stays tied and Bradley if they get the lead.
I think you're absolutely right. Come on, Goldie.
Goldie drove in a run with a sac fly in the first. 0 for 3. Can he do it again? Four home runs, 13 RBIs on this road trip. Fastball by him, and it's 1-1. J.D. Martinez, who has doubled, walked, and tripled tonight, would be next.
Giants outfield playing in that no doubles defense. That's about as deep as you'll see the outfielders play in this park.
1-2 on Paul Goldschmidt. Goldie 54 career games here at AT&T Park. All of them starts. He's got 8 home runs here, a .316 career hitter in this ballpark. Sometimes, you know, he's a big all-American power hitting first base type, but sometimes he can be like that little pesky slap hitter.
Little leadoff hitter, choked up on the bat, just fouling off borderline pitches and giving you an opportunity to make a mistake, and you can blast it out of here.
Still 1-2.
Ooh. Left a breaking ball on the inside part of the plate that time. Got away with one.
Make sure you check that bottom hand.
Take a look at it right there just to make sure he's right where he wants to be.
Into center, a base hit for Goldie. Just under a diving Joe Panic. It's a 2-out single. And let's see if J.D. Martinez can be the hero. J.D. has doubled and tripled tonight. His triple, a high fly ball to right center field at both Denard Span and Hunter Pence. Never saw they lost the ball in the clouds and it dropped in between them. Pitcher's spot is behind Martinez, now 6th in the order after the double switch, and Chris Herman is in the on-deck circle. Quinn Walcott going to clean up the plate. Don't they usually give those guys a little brush for that?
Yeah, I think he's kind of fixing divots when guys run out of the batter's box and take a little divot as they dig in and run down that first base line. He comes out and fixes it.
J.D. very aggressive early in counts as a Diamondback. He's usually up there swinging away early. RBI double in the first. He walked in the 5th and tripled in the 7th. Jumps on the first pitch and knocks it into right field. 2 on and 2 out for Chris Herman. Third hit tonight for J.D. Well, this is the time for the Herminator. He's stuck in a 4 for 54 right now, dating back to the end of June. 160 on the year with 8 home runs. But the wind is blowing out to right field. Herman as a pinch hitter this year, 2 for 26. 2 on and 2 out, 4-4 in the 9th. Ran into the Herminator's in-laws at Wrigley Field the other day. They were saying hi.
Well, you mentioned that when you got on the team bus that they were waiting on Chris after the ball game.
They were terrific. They're about to become grandparents. Well, Chris, in his brief Diamondback career, has had his share of dramatic moments. This would certainly be one of them. Goldie at second, J.D. Martinez at first, 2 outs. Two and one. Diamondbacks have left 9 tonight. 2 on, 2 out, 2 balls and 2 strikes in the 9th. Just got a piece of that one. Albert Suarez, the right-hander, running out to the Giant bullpen. McFarland and Bradley are ready in the D-back bullpen. It's full. Ketel Marte on deck. Runners on the move. Ball four. The bases are loaded for Marte. Two singles and a walk, all with two outs against Sam Dyson. Dave Righetti, time for a visit. Suarez warming up in the Giant pen. Dyson at 20 pitches in the inning, 13 for strikes.
That turned into a good at bat for Chris Herman. Swung at a couple of borderline pitches early in the at bat, but ended up taking ball four to load him up for Marte.
There's the Herminator with Dave McKay.
Ketel Marte actually has more career at bats against Sam Dyson than any other Diamondback. He's seen him 5 times, 1 for 5 with a double.
Diamondbacks about hit the Giants 10-8. They've stranded 9 base runners tonight. Giants have left 4. 4-4 in the ninth. Bases full, 2 down for Ketel Marte, the shortstop. He has doubled, walked, grounded out, and flied out. 1 for 3. Ooh. Fastball away is strike 1.
That's not a pitch you want to swing at anyway. Tailing fastball off that outside corner.
Wind is swirling. It's now blowing across the outfield from right to left. Ketel Marte, his first game back with the Diamondbacks following the death of his mother at home in the Dominican Republic. Nick Hundley wants to roll through the signs one more time. Marte rolls it to second. Panic is there. And the Diamondbacks leave the bases loaded in the ninth. Now 4-4 as we start the bottom of the ninth here at AT&T Park. Big play in the eighth inning. Jeff Mathis throws out Jared Parker trying to steal. That's our Chaz Roberts. Air conditioning and plumbing cool play the game.
Yeah, Parker represented the potential go-ahead run in the game. Slid right into the foot of Adam Rosales out there at second base. Adam was able to put the tag on him before he could get a hand on the base.
Well, this is Torey Lovullo's only option for some length right now in the bullpen. It's the left-hander TJ McFarland. Now TJ hasn't pitched since Tuesday's series opener against the Cubs at Wrigley Field, but he went 2 1/3 in that appearance and threw 54 pitches. And he's on to face Hunter Pence to lead off the bottom of the ninth. Pence was up at the plate when Parker was thrown out trying to steal. Pence a 2-run homer in the seventh, his ninth of the year. So he has now hit safely in 7 straight games, Hunter Pence. He's got 3 homers during that streak. His bat is heating up. TJ's got it. Let's go downstairs to Jody Jackson. Jody.
Well, Steve, you mentioned length out of McFarland Tuesday against the Cubs, 54 pitches. Torey Lovullo, I asked him about bullpen usage today, and he is careful to get everybody enough rest because TJ, he's almost made too many starts with 3 days rest. His last outing before that Cubs game was last Friday in St. Louis. He went 58 pitches. That was the game that Robbie Ray left. So, again, 2 almost mini starts, 3 days rest, but they feel like they've been able to give him enough to be here for the length that they need tonight.
Joe Panik. Panik is singled and walked. Yeah, the loss of Randall Delgado to that elbow injury really underscored here when you think about the job Randall has done at times, giving the Diamondbacks 2 and 3 innings per appearance out of the bullpen from time to time. Now it's TJ McFarland in that role, and he's done a very good job. Panik chops one to Goldie at first. Two down now for the catcher, Nick Hundley. Hundley's had a good night. He's doubled and singled, 2 for 3.
Big strong dude. He's got some pop, but it's mostly pull power. Tie game or 1-run game late, just stay away from his power. If he's going to hit the ball, make him hit it to the big part of the field out there in Triples Alley.
Hundley just homered Tuesday in Oakland, hitting over 330 in his last 16 games.
Right out there.
Pitcher spot up next for the Giants. Looks like Gorkys Hernandez in the on deck circle. Hunter Strickland warming up in the Giant bullpen. Nice quick feet down there by Phil Nevin, former Reno Aces skipper. Third base coach for the Giants. There's Hernandez on deck.
Hernandez, the last available position player for Bruce Bochy.
His team has come back from down 4-0. 0-2 on Hundley. Oh. Quinn Walcott didn't like it.
Yeah, hopefully that was just a fastball in to make Hundley aware. Right back away.
Spits on that one, and he's even 2-2.
I mean, you can make a mistake away on Nick Hundley, and he might get a base hit or a double to the opposite field. But if you make a mistake on the inside part of the plate, that's one he could possibly get in the air to left field, and you do not want that right now.
Off the mound and into center. Hundley's third hit tonight, a 2-out single, and the Giants have the winning run aboard. And So Bruce Bochy will go to his last position player on the bench. It's Corquis Hernandez. 0 for 3 last night, 258 on the year.
Bum heading up to put his cleats on, I'm sure, in case they need another pinch hitter.
He might have been their best option right here. Hernandez has almost no power, only 13 extra base hits all year. But he's hit the ball well lately, better than .330 in his last 15 games. One and one. Marte is there at shortstop, and we head to the 10th in San Francisco, tied at 4. Hunter Strickland, the right-hander, an impressive 8th inning of the game last night. Got 3 outs on 15 pitches, including strikeouts of Chris Iannetta and A.J. Pollock. He's on for the 46th time this year. 41 strikeouts in 40 innings for Hunter Strickland, but he's a bit of a wild card. He's walked 14 guys in his last 17 1/3 innings, so it's a little bit of this and a little bit of that.
Make sure it's something you want to hit. Make him come in that strike zone.
Mathis, Rosales, and Peralta, 8, 9, and 1, due up in the Diamondback 10th. Jeff singled and scored in the 6th inning. He's 1 for 4. Starts him off with a breaking ball for strike 1. Jeff single in the 6th inning, extended his hitting streak now at 11 games. Just looking for a base runner here. Fastball missed, and it's 1-1.
Jeff is able to reach. I'm guessing you would see Gregor Blanco make his first appearance in this series as a pinch runner. Still have Chris Iannetta available off the bench to go behind the plate.
Already used Chris Herman as a pinch hitter. And Strickland missed with 2 fastballs now, and it's 2-1. Dodgers have already won. They beat the Mets 7-4 in New York. Milwaukee 3-0 winners at Tampa Bay. And the Rockies beat the Phillies at Coors Field 8-5. There's a strike, and it's 2-2. Able to check on that fastball up. Full count, 3-2. Rosales on deck. That one almost got Mike Kruk.
Blanco with helmet on, ready to go.
2 World Series rings as a Giant, Gregor Blanco.
Yeah.
Lead off walk for Jeff Mathis. Go ahead runs aboard. Well, I told you about Hunter Strickland's walks. They've been coming in bunches lately, and indeed Blanco will come out and pinch run for Mathis.
Good at bat by Jeff Mathis to start this inning. D-backs just looking for a base runner.
Well, they've got a good one down there as the go ahead run. Archie Bradley will mosey on down to the bullpen. Get warmed up again. Looks like Archie is going to be the closer tonight. Fernando Rodney has saved the last 3 games in a row, so he must be down. Blanco takes off. Oh, Rosales fouled it off.
I'm surprised Adam Rosales only has, including 3 this year, 14 sacrifice bunts in his career in 10 years.
Yeah, for a guy that runs pretty well. Blanco holds this time. Rosales gets the bunt down. Strickland picks it up himself and runs over to the bag as they move Blanco along. So the go ahead run now at second with 1 down for David Peralta. David's had a good night. 2 singles and a double. Now that wind is blowing in the exact opposite direction it was a moment ago. Now it's out to the right field corner.
Oh, wait 10 seconds and it'll be blowing straight in.
Well, that's the direction you wanted blowing right now with Peralta up there.
Absolutely.
Giants outfield, although they have 2 outfield assists in this game tonight, does not throw especially well. They only have 8 outfield assists all year coming into tonight. That's the worst in the majors. Something to think about if Peralta can get it out there. And he drives it to Pence in right field, backing up. Blanco at second will tag and head for third. And there are 2 outs. Well, the Diamondbacks, who left the bases loaded with 2 down in the 9th, have the go-ahead run 90 feet away with 2 outs in the 10th, and it's A.J. Pollock. Strickland struck out Pollock looking in the 8th inning last night. First pitch swinging, fly ball center field for Span. They strand the run at third. They go to the home half of the 10th, tied at 4. At the top in the red, 13 runners left on base for Torey Lovullo's Diamondbacks. And we're in the home half of the 10th, tied at 4. TJ McFarland is back out there, new battery mate. After they pinch ran for Jeff Mathis, Chris Iannetta takes over behind home plate. TJ out there for his 2nd inning of work. Matt Cain has started warming up in the Giant bullpen. Just in case this one goes to 11. Cain's start in the spot of the rotation was taken up tonight by Chris Stratton, so Cain working in long relief if need be. Here's Span to lead off the 10th. He's 0 for 4. Span slumping, 4 hits in his last 33 at bats. .270 on the year. Drives it to right. JD on the run. He won't get there. It's off the wall. Bernard Span, a leadoff double.
Tried to go away with a fastball. Looked like it tailed right back to the inside part of the plate. You can see Chris Iannetta reaching all the way across. I haven't talked about all the different surfaces out there in right field, but you've got padded wall, you've got chain link fence, you've got bricks. Fortunate bounce that time came right back to J.D. Martinez.
So the winning run in scoring position to start the 10th, and Kelby Tomlinson will be the hitter. Span checking in with Phil Nevin, the third base coach. They're going to go ahead and give Tomlinson the no-pitch intentional walk and work to the left-hand hitting Crawford. Crawford singled off the lefty Andrew Chafin in the 8th inning. 1 for 4. On the ground to Rosales. Marte for 1, and that strategy worked out. They got 2 quick outs. Span in at third. Exactly what Torey Lovullo was hoping for right there.
Well, you expect a couple more intentional walks, at least one here to Buster Posey, get the lefty on lefty matchup with Jarrett Parker.
Second intentional walk of the inning. And Parker, who's got a lot of swing and miss, he's already struck out twice tonight, will be the hitter. He did have an RBI double in the 7th. Winning run is at third base with 2 outs in the 10th. Span is the runner at third. Posey aboard at first. Parker 1 for 4. Posey takes second uncontested, and there's strike 1.
Well, his run means absolutely nothing at this point.
Rosales well back on the outfield grass, and he's got no play. The Giants win. Adam Rosales was playing back deep on the grass in right field, and Parker rolls the walk-off winner. Diamondbacks had a 4-0 lead at one point. They stranded 13 base runners tonight, and they lose it 5-4.
Now the stranded base runners are what you're going to look back and. Diamondbacks had plenty of chances. Once again, just couldn't come up with that big knock at the right time.
So the Giants even the series at a game apiece. We'll take a break from San Francisco. Back with more from AT&T Park. D-backs drop this one in 10, 5-4.